Hi guys, I'm back with another episode of Crypto Scoop FM. In the last video, I spoke about meme coins and why I think 2025, 2026 alt cycle, we're going to see many of these memes go parabolic. And I showed you uh, kind of some evidence of that happening, especially with the Murad meme, where he was showing how you have a pre-pump followed by, a pump in the actual year of the flippening from BTC to alt season. And I think we're right at the cusp where we're going to start seeing more and more of BTC dominance, either going sideways or starting to trickle down. It's unclear when it's going to happen, to be honest, and nobody can predict the future, which is true. But it just feels like at this point in time, when I look at all the data, when I look at what's happening around Bitcoin and the broader markets, it just feels to me that in the next couple of months, as you have more liquidity coming in, as you have more rate cuts, you're going to see that happen. Almost like the big beautiful bill has already given us a peek into what that future looks like, because we're looking at what $4 trillion in additional funding. Also, you had the Kubisi letter publishing, how by the end of Trump's 4-year term, we're actually going to see $46 trillion of total debt in the United States. So that's humongous amount of capital that's going to be printed to fund many of their ongoing operations. Plus the tax cuts that they have announced in the big beautiful bill means more liquidity in the hands of people. So they're going to first go into the more risk off assets. From there on, they're going to start taking more and more risk, and so I think they would want to go and invest into assets which have the most potential of going parabolic. And for me, there are just two sectors at this point in time. Now, number one is, of course, artificial intelligence, and I remain a big bull on Tau. I read some of your comments that I'm not covering Tau enough. So later today, I'm going to do a more deep dive, a weekly deep dive on Tau, which is what my coverage on BitTensor moving forward is going to be. But for today, I want to continue talking about memes. So before I jump and show you the actual portfolio and allocations based on your risk profile, I'm going to add a caveat that nothing that I say is financial advice, life advice, or legal advice. So take every piece of information that you're seeing here with a pinch of salt. Crypto markets are inherently risky and everything could go to zero. So if you do end up making any financial decision based on this video, it's all on you. All right, guys. With that, let's dive in. All right. So last video, I showed you how the market is evolving and how the meme cycle will play out. And I left you with this screen where I hid all of the coins, right? So now I'm going to take you through this spreadsheet today and some of the coins which are here, just to give you a sense of the kind of plays that we can expect in this market. And then in the second part of this video, I'm going to walk you through the allocation based on your own risk profile. So from being from the safest investment portfolio to the most degen investment portfolio, I'll give you my recommended allocations for each. So stick around, guys. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, because because by doing that, we can share this video with more and more folks. Okay, so starting with the categories, which is column B. When I sat to kind of create this entire spreadsheet, and kudos to my friend Dave, who's been in the trenches a lot more than I have been, and it's only through his conviction that I've started to see memes as a real category. And he actually told me that there's no one way to look at memes, and there's the foundations of thinking about memes is to kind of break them down into three broad categories, right? The first category is what he calls blue chips. So these are memes which have stuck around. They have, gone through the test of time. They have seen 80 to 90% pullbacks and incredible, runs coming back from it. And they will remain as the pioneers of culture in crypto. So that's Bluechips. That's category one. Then the next category is top chain memes. What is top chain memes? Every blockchain wants to set up, and a center point around which their culture can, surround themselves with, or showcase support for that chain. So if you go around all of these different chains, there's pretty much one main meme, and in some cases there are two. And what I've done is I took my friend's help and I shortlisted the one big meme in each chain that kind of defines the whole culture and community of that chain. So in Solana's case, it was BONK, and I don't know if you guys remember, like right after FTX crashed, and you had like that massive 95% drop in the Solana token. Many projects, spoke about leaving Solana. Many chains started poaching Solana. I remember one of the projects, which was an NFT project, in fact, left Solana to join Polygon. And they were paid like a lot of money to do it. And in response to all of that was happening, was created and launched, and it was airdropped to all the Solana supporters, builders, investors, community members who decide to stay on. So that was BONK, guys. Then you have SPX 6900 on Ethereum, which is Murad's coin. Now, for those of you know, Murad has been in the industry for like longer than I know, and after making incredible gains in as an early Bitcoin adopter, he has now put all his chips on the meme ecosystem. And so he has his own like set and list of meme coins, which he calls the Murad meme coins, right? And so if I quickly show you, what those are, this includes SPX 6900, which is Murad's own coin. It is the one that he has created, and you can already see what kind of an upside, this coin has done. So at its peak, that's an 18,000% return, guys. That's SPX for you. Then you have Mog, which is another big pick from Murad. There is Apu, right? Which is again almost at an all-time low, like these charts. So, which is why like Mog especially, if you see right here, it's a nice bull flag formation at this point in time, and I think this will just incredibly send when the market liquidity returns to the Ethereum ecosystem. Then he also have what is known as Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu, which is Bitcoin with, which is again, I'll just zoom out a little bit and make this a little bigger, but you can already see how much of a pullback there is in many of these coins, right? It's almost like 90 to 95% down from its all-time high, 85% down from its all-time high. Bitcoin, there's another one, which is one of Murad's topics, is PopCat, though of course, if I have to choose between PopCat and Mog, I'll probably go with PopCat. Although PopCat has seen serious volume, between in the month of May alone, and now it's kind of dipping off a little bit. But this is again Murad's top bet. There's GigaChad, again incredible, rally to the upside, drop, and now it's kind of picking up steam again. And there are a few more, but kind of returning back to my chart, and I was talking about top chain memes. So you have BONK for Solana and XPX 6900 from Murad. And then you have Base. Base for many reasons is interesting because they are the blockchain from Coinbase, and after the regulatory clarity with the Genius Bill, with the Clarity Act, all the things that are happening in the US with respect to digital asset regulations, I think Brett is going to be the face for Base. And if you look at Brett's rally, it's been extremely interesting. Let me just open the chart for you guys. So if you see, it went from almost nothing to like $2 billion. And right now it's trading at like 400 million. So I think you can already do the math. That's a 4x just by Brett achieving its all-time high. Imagine, guys, imagine because Coinbase announced in the recent, State of Crypto conference in New York that Base is going to be integrated into the Coinbase app. What does that mean? It means that all of the on-chain digital assets currently trading on the blockchain, on the Base blockchain specifically, will be available for trading in the US on Coinbase's main app. So we're talking about millions and millions of net new users coming on chain to buy based assets, and Bread guys is gonna do some serious work there. I know there are some analysts who talk about how this is lots of insider holdings and this and that, but think about it, guys. Even if there is insider holdings, the very fact that you have such a large retail base, you have such a big brand riding on top of it. I think yes, insiders would want to exit, but that is true for like almost everything else. Like almost everything in crypto, all major projects have insiders, holdings, VC holdings and stuff like that. But they are investing with like a whole different time horizon and a whole different mindset. So I don't quite agree with those analysts who make those points. I still think Brett is an extremely interesting bet, could even go beyond $2 billion in the upcoming cycle. Next comes Sui. Sui has been in the news for all the right reasons, of course, all the way from, the Vyoming stablecoin coin, Sui being one of the, 10 blockchains, which is in the race today. And the top meme coin on Sui is LOFI. LOFI is, I think, currently trading about $30 million. Last all-time high was 200. Given the rally that's going to happen around Sui, I think LOFI is going to attract a lot of attention. This is the whole Yeti theme as well, which is quite cool. If you go explore that Twitter, you will see this thing which quite popular, some time back. So. LOFI for Sui. There's another one which is Mudeng, which is Sudeng. I'm sorry, it's the little sister to Mudeng, and this stopped at 250 million. Currently trading at 17 million. So another like beta play on memes on Sui. Now, finally, Hyperliquid, guys. Like, don't forget Hyperliquid, because what Hyperliquid has done in crypto is nothing short of phenomenal. Almost from nothing, they've gone to become like a top 10, top 12 coin. And apart from that, it is one of the best performing projects in this space who are actually making money. Because the other day I was looking at this data from Artemis, and I could already see like every day after day. Like, this is the first thing I do every morning, guys. Every morning I come onto this platform and I see what the flows look like, and look at the fees that Hyperliquid is making. And no matter how far back I go in history, let me go and see if there's something available on flows. Okay, not really. But, just here, like, just in terms of the fees that they are making, it's incredible. Like, look at that, guys. $2 million in the last 24 hours. How much is that in a year? What? Almost 730 million, 750. So they are on track to make $1 billion a year. And now with the announcement of HIP 3, there is a whole chunk of net new ecosystem of projects being built on top of the Hyperliquid blockchain. And once that happens, we're going to see a lot of attention coming to the chain. And when that attention comes to the chain, I think Per is a strong candidate to do extremely well. In the last cycle, its cycle top was 372 million or so. It's almost close to 400. Currently trading a little over 100. So keep this with the attention that Hyperliquid is getting, guys. I think this is going to do phenomenally well. The next one that I want to talk about is BNB. Now, I think BNB as a chain is a load of garbage. Sorry, CZ, I love you, but just saying what I feel. I think BNB is great. No offense, but it's just there's just too many coins being launched just because how cheap it is. And so the only meme coin that I shortlisted from the Binance chain was CZ's dog, which is broccoli. And this was the trend when all of these different crypto founders and their dogs' names were being, coined on the blockchain. And so broccoli is CZ's dog, and already you can see from what, June, it has gone from 20 to 40 million. So that's 100x in just the last, what, 3-4 weeks. And this could easily go to its all-time high of 100 million, maybe even go way past it, because BNB is just killing it because of all of the attention it's able to garner because of the Binance Alpha play bets. And finally, on the top chain memes, you have Abstract. Abstract is making a lot of noise. It's pre-token right now, which makes a lot of people pay attention to Abstract. Abstract is also one of those chains which was started by Luca Nets. Luca Nets, for those of you who don't know, is the founder of Pudgy Penguins, which was the top NFT collection of 21-22. And since then, the vision behind Abstract is to make it a consumer crypto blockchain. And there are two choices here. The first one is, of course, PENGU. And PENGU, I think, has done really well in the last couple of weeks. I think it was up almost 85%, all the way from what, 575 million to what, $1 billion. So that much in like what, from June 27 to July 5, like 8 days, guys. 8 days to 2x. And its all-time high was $2.6 billion. I think when the abstract run happens, Pudgy or Pengu is my top bet. Another one is Appster. Appster is again, an abstract chain-centric meme, right? It's a meme coin, and so this is another one currently trading at 15 million. If you're in the mood to take a little more risk, be a little more degen, then I'd probably go with Appster than Pengu, just because it's much cheaper and can go much higher once the rally starts. Okay, so these are the top chain memes, right? And now I'm going to talk about a few projects, and this is based on how Murad analyzed the market, and he said a lot of these coins that pumped in 2024, that's just a pre-pump rally. What's a pre-pump rally? So he said a year before, his thesis was that a year before the actual bull run happened, many of the altcoins in 2021 that went absolutely parabolic. If you remember, guys, coins like let's go back. There was Ethereum, right? If you remember Ethereum, let's look at its chart. So there was this rally in 18, right? And then there was a small pump in 2020 before it went absolutely crazy in 2021, achieving an all-time high of $600 billion. Right, so this is the kind of crazy rallies we're talking about, and the small pump that happens. And his whole point was that we're in a pre-pump, like Ethereum or many other projects of that time. There was Bitcoin, which saw these pumps in 2020 before kind of going like parabolic again, right? So so there was this. Look at this. There was a 2019, 2020 high. Before that, it went to 2021, like super crazy, right? So that's the thesis. And with that thesis, we shortlisted a few runners, both on ETH, Solana, and Ethereum, that did extremely well in 2024. So there's this, dog-themed dog with hat. If you look at its chart, let me just open this for you guys. And so, it started here, 2024, rallied all the way to what, 5 billion, rallied again to 4.8 billion. And then, since then did a little rally, right now trading at 800 billion. So this is exactly the kind of setup that Murad is looking at right now. And he's saying this is the pre-pump rally before we see those massive rallies where, this could go to what, from four, it could go to anywhere between 12 to 15 billion dollars. So we're looking at a 200 to 25x from here, or from the bottom, from this point, we're probably looking at a 2020x from here. So not saying this will happen, but this is the thesis, and if it does play out, we're looking at incredible gains. So which are the tokens where this might play out? And of course, all speculation. But there's VIF, there's GigaChad, and I already showed you GigaChad, but just opening the chart again for you guys. There's GigaChad. GigaChad went from almost nothing to what, $1 billion. Look at this. It was started at $8-10 million, went to 919 million, 920 million in 2025 in the peak. Before that, it did a little bit. It was already rising in 2025, 24 October, November. Peaked in January before closing down again. And then you have you have Popcat, you have Fartcoin, which is one of my favorite memes, AI meme coins. I've been holding it for the longest time, and I continue to remain a believer. And it is already kind of posting this bull flag at this point in time. I think this will send really high. It could even go to like $5 to $10 billion. Its last high was 2.5, and so we're looking at a sweet 50x. I have no trouble believing this will not happen, and I'm fairly confident. I have strong conviction that this will go even higher to like 6, 8, or even $10 billion. And why do I say that? Like, if you go back, right? If you go back to the sheet and you look at like Doge, for instance, it's very clear on Doge what happened, right? Look at this. It was nothing, guys. From nothing, it went to like $90 billion. Then everything crashed, and people thought Doge is dead. But look what happened in 2024, end of 24, early 25. It went to like $60 billion, guys, from like nothing to $60 billion. So these coins have a strong community. They have holders. They have people who are diamond holders, diamond hands, and they hold. And because they hold, there is so much demand for these coins. As soon as the markets open, it'll just run parabolic, guys. And don't forget, Dogecoin is also one of those coins which is in consideration for an ETF from SEC. Can you imagine the kind of money that will come in from the Wall Street once Doge's ETF happens? And if that happens, that gives legitimacy to the idea of meme coins. And if that's going to happen, people are going to go out there and search in the trenches for better and more powerful opportunities. So you have Fartcoin, Goat, and these are all on Solana, by the way. Then there are a bunch on Ethereum. There's Pepe, which did incredibly well in 2024. If you go look at its chart, I think it topped at about, if I'm not wrong, like 2 billion, maybe or a little more. But let's check the chart just to be sure. Oh, it's much more, guys. It went to like $12 billion. This was, look at this. Look at the parabolic rise it did in 2024. Crashed again, rose to 7 billion, now currently trading at about, what, 4.1 billion. I think a very strong meme, very strong community, and looks fairly sharp to do another like massive run. Already I can see a bull flag right here. Then you have Mog. I just, full disclosure, bought a little bit of Mog, which I think is interesting. I think it's interesting because, it's a funny meme. It has a strong community. It went to what, $1.6 billion, and a nice, bull flag right here after its, little rally from what, 195 million to almost doubling or more than doubling. And now here it is. I think this is send. This is send, and this is not only achieve its all-time high, but maybe even go beyond. So Mog is definitely another one. There's NPC, there's Apu, there's Bitcoin. I've already shown you these. And then there are a bunch of these like 2025 runners, which we expect could do anywhere between 20 to 50x. So which are the ones? There's Labubu. Labubu, guys. Everybody has been talking about the Labubu toy, been extremely popular on social media. And, you can already see like people have started accumulating. This chart looks very extremely healthy to me. The, accumulation zone, if we go and look at the 4-hour chart, you can clearly see how it's kind of ranging at this price. I think this is a nice chart. Always look for healthy formations in the chart, and this is as healthy as it gets. So this is great for the chart to send. So Labubu is one where we could expect like 20 to 50 billion. Currently trading at about 30 million FTV. So we're talking about $1 billion of market cap is all it takes. And don't be surprised when it happens. Then there's NobodySausage. Again, an extremely popular meme coin on social media, and it just sent just a few like days back. It went from like 9 million to 35 million, so it did a 4x. So this is another one, could 20 to 50x. Then there's Startup. Startup is, I think, currently trading at like 8 to 10 million. 40 million FTV, guys. This is another one which could 20 to 50x. Look at this chart, right? Peaked in 25, dropped to what, 3 million, again peaked. So this shows that the community is kind of standing behind it. They didn't dump it all. There was demand. Then there's Troll Guys, another one which we believe could 20 to 50x. Again, like strong caveat, like this is all of this could go down to zero. But looking at how memes behave, and also look at this chart, guys. Beautiful chart on how the accumulation zone is kind of building up. People are buying, people are selling. There's price discovery happening. There's consistency in the chart that I really like. Then you have House, right? Another one which could do incredibly well is House, currently trading at 16 million. HouseCoin, the whole idea that like one house you can is equal to one house coin. You can buy a house with a house coin is the whole meme, which is why how the community is kind of coming behind it. Already lost a lot of its value. Did an all-time high of 70 million, currently trading at 15. So keep an eye on house coin. Then there's Useless, which has done an incredible rally, guy. If you look at the Useless coin, it's just gone absolutely parabolic in the last couple of days. I remember this was also something which was being spoken about in the front runners call on a few days back. Front runners is a Discord group run by Rand Neuner's researchers, and so some of them have also bought this coin, right? So look at this. Look at how this has sent from like 25 million to 292. That's a 10x, guys. And we still feel that this could like 20 to 50x from here. This is the same. This is also an interesting meme because some people say it's a beta to Fartcoin. Some say like Fartcoin was a meme on how everything is useless, and useless is the actual representation of the uselessness of 99% of all coins in crypto, so-called utility coins. Then there's Husiko, which is a cat meme, and then Let's BONK. So these are the ones where we feel in 2025 could be like strong runners. And on Ethereum, there's Zeus, which is Pepe's dog, Pepe's pet, and Zeus is, I think last I checked, was trading at about 8 to 10 million. Okay, 9 million it is where it's trading at right now. So Zeus is Pepe's dog. Could really send because Pepe is going to be one of the best performance, and once that happens, you're going to see a strong performance on Zeus as well. I apologize for my bad internet connection. The chart isn't loading for me, but yes. And finally, the third category is ultra degen. Like these are like sell my kidney, quote unquote. Like I'm not saying you sell your kidney, guys. I'm just kidding. But basically, the idea is that they can make so much money that it's worth putting in like $50, which could just turn into $50,000, right? So this includes runners of this cycle. This is Buttcoin, Titcoin, all will retire, which is a very strong meme. Fuck 925, which is again a very strong meme. There's Ass and there's Doge, DOWGE. All right, guys. So that sums up all of the memes across categories based on the risk as well as the upside. And now I'm going to walk you through the allocation, guys. It's important to keep in mind your allocation because it totally depends on how much risk you're willing to take for a given level of return. So if you're a low risk guy, you want to keep your portfolio safe from any crazy like ranges. I think for whatever proportion of your total capital you want to put in memes. Let's say if you have portfolio with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, which is 80%. Then of that remaining 20% that you want to put into altcoins, you can have like a percentage dedicated for alts, for memes. Let's say 50%. So 10% of your overall portfolio. And that 10% can be divided in the ratio of 80:20 between blue chips and top chain memes. Now you can go through this list. I will leave the spreadsheet for your reference with all of the links below for quick access, and you can go ahead and choose whichever ones you like. I've already given you my thesis around it. So go ahead, do an 80:20. Then if it's medium risk, which means you want to have a slightly higher allocation and potential upside is 15 to 30x, then I would suggest you break down the capital available to invest in the meme sector I am being extremely specific. I'm not talking about your entire portfolio, guys. I'm only talking about that portion of your portfolio that you're willing to invest in memes. So if that portion, 50% can go into blue chips, 25% can go into top chain memes, and 25% could go into 2024 runners. Then, if you want to go a little more Degen, 20 to 50x, then 30% in blue chips, 30% in top chain memes, 20% in 2024 runners, and 20% in 2025 runners. And finally, if you're going extreme Degen mode, like 100 to 1000x, then put only 10% in blue chips, 30% in top chain memes, and 30% each in 2024 and 25 runners, which also include, by the way, all of these different coins. These are all 2025 runners, guys. Okay, that is all I have to share with you guys today. I don't want to go beyond 30 minutes, but it was fun having this conversation. I think we're at an interesting juncture of the market. Nobody can predict the future, guys. If somebody says they do, they're probably lying. And I've spent more time in the industry to to learn otherwise. And so I would just recommend that don't be greedy. Play your games of according to your risk profile. You don't have to go all crazy. My simple thinking around money is that if you just let it ride, finding the right assets based on a thesis, you will do extremely well. So if you want to ignore all of this, it's completely fine. Like just DCA into Bitcoin for the next 15 years and you'll be completely fine. But if you want to take a little more risk and want to be a degen like me, then definitely look at memes. Okay, guys, so with that, I'm going to wrap up today's episode, and I'll see you again very, very soon with the Tau Weekly Wrap. So exciting things coming from the Tau ecosystem that I've been reading, and I'll drop some very interesting and exciting alpha from BitTensor very, very soon. With that, sayonara, guys.